What's up, YouTube? Free Tendies Fantasy on a Saturday night, continuing our sprawl of lighting money on fire in the puppy draft. Ted, who said he was 100% out last week, so he's not going in this week. He's just going to hang out and watch with us, is here. Ted, how are you, buddy?
Pretty good, man. It was a busy day for me. I did manual labor on a farm in 106-degree heat. My uncle tore his rotator cuff, and he just had a bunch of baby chicks.
Yeah.
So I was helping construct a shelter for baby chickens. And you know what? I felt like I had a long day. I deserved it. I got myself some Panda Express, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna win $100,000. I put 50. I
Let's
put
go.
50 more bucks in my account. I'm here for more puppies.
Let's
Yeah,
go,
it's gonna be an
dude.
interesting day. Not can't think of a better way to like spend a Saturday night is an
Oh,
adult in my 30s than to gamble online.
Oh my god, yeah, just creepy, degenerate stuff while you're alone. It's like it becomes like a passion of yours as you get older. Okay, I'm ready to hit confirm. You get ready and you let me know when you are ready. Dude, it's weird, like chicken coops, right? You spent your day making chicken coops. The psychologist who mentors me, like my professional mentor guy, he has chicken coops all over his property. I find something weirdly relaxing about chickens, like tending to them and you build a little space for them, their eggs and stuff. I don't know, I kind of like it. That's like a good old dude
Chickens are
hobby.
incredibly filthy
They
animals, and I
are.
would never have
They
them.
are.
But having the eggs is cool. All right, you ready?
Yep, count us down.
Three, two, 3, 2, 1, go. We got 4 spots left.
We got it. Okay. Do you want to? I mean, you were all hyped up and ready to go. Do you want to get into your thing first, or should I take my L first? It's up to you because I might take a second L when you're talking. For all I know, like so.
Sure, sure,
Okay.
sure. That's fine. You're not taking an L on this, but I think something that I have noticed today. Well, it's not that I just noticed it today, but something that popped up today. That's something me and Yanni have talked about that I really want to stress to our fans is the importance of
Fa-
media literacy in fantasy
fans,
football and
fans is a
being
very
able.
hold on. Fans is a very strong term. People who watch. Go on.
I mean, we have 63 subs,
We
but
do.
sure.
We do
But
actually.
yeah,
Go
well,
ahead.
wait, no, maybe it's 60. It doesn't matter. But yeah, anyways, like we need to be able as a fantasy community when we have reports that come across our timelines on Twitter. I think it's really important that we know what comes from the coaching staff and what is an opinion piece based on a beat reporter. As 49ers fans, we have a beat reporter named Grant Cohn, who I think illustrates this point perfectly to us.
And the other guy,
Grant Cohn is, we're not right next to each other,
Dave,
by the way. Another 1 and 6.
Dave, the other dude too, from the Athletic. David, what's his name? The guy who's always
Dave
positive.
Lombardi. Dave
Dave
Lombardi.
Lombardi. He's
Yes,
always positive.
yes,
Always
yes.
positive guy.
We have the two extremes in the 49ers fandom of beat reporters that kind of mix in their own opinion with what's being said. So the one today that really bothered me is I saw someone. There was some fantasy content creator who said that the idea that Jonathan Brooks is being drafted before Chuba Hubbard right now is crazy, and I was like, thank you. Someone is after my heart. They're speaking my language, right? And some guy under the comments goes, "Well, I mean, the coaching staff literally said that they hope he's the starter, so it's not that crazy." And like, I had to be like, "No, they did not say that, right?" Because there was a quote, there was an article that came out when they didn't re-sign Rico Dowdle that was written by a beat reporter talking about how he thinks that part of the reason they let Rico Dowdle walk is because they want Jonathan Brooks to take over as the starter, right? They were confident in like Jonathan Brooks' development or whatever. And it's really important to, I guess, know that that's a beat reporter saying that, because if you go into the season thinking, well, the team wants Jonathan Brooks to be the starter, that's just like incorrect information and it's not helping you. You know what I mean? This happens a lot. So like, please, when you're getting news like from Twitter or news from wherever, right? Like, see if it's people representing the team saying it or if it's a beat reporter's opinion. And if it is a beat reporter's opinion or whatever, like, just know it's a piece of information or it's like a thought that that person has. That's all. See, you,
Yep.
you weren't taking an L there, I don't think.
No, I mean, so the Jonathan Taylor one's weird because what's his name? The who's the ESPN NFL guy? It was I think it was Jeff Passan who reported that they let him go to be the starter. And I actually went and looked, like, because you caused me to be like, oh God, did I do the thing? Because it's embarrassing when you do that. Like, I don't really care what some guy who covers sports opinion is, right? I care what the teams are. And the GM did, oh God damn it, right before me too. Yeah. Yep, you're gonna get to enjoy
That's
that.
another James Cook in the boat.
Yep. Continue to be an Omarion Hampton Bowl. We'll just do Hampton and Genty. We won't get too crazy here. I'm starting to really pull Chase Brown up my lineup there, and Ted is a big Saquon guy. Okay, very very FTF coded start. We have a nice long turn here to hang out and get into stuff. I mean, so like I actually pulled it up, right? It's kind of cool. I named it Beat Reporter Bot. I trained a bot to just sit there and comb through and like source examples for me. It's gotten really good. So I was like, okay, well, let me make sure, like, want to make sure where did that quote come from? And yeah, the quote that they want him to be the starter, I mean, that's not correct. Like the quote that they want him to be a starter is just lying. But the exact quote was, God damn it. Sorry, I have a bunch of stuff in here because I've been working all day trying to source quotes. Sorry, one second. Very boring YouTube comment. Okay, here's the here's the direct causal chain of what the GM and Dave Canales have said since the draft. It is not a strong Brooks endorsement, in my opinion. There's actually a strong Chuba endorsement there, but it is them saying they think he can be the guy they drafted him to be. Now, what do you think of that? It's up to you. GM Dan Morgan, Carolina was willing to let Rico Dowdle test free agency rather than treating him as a must-retain player. When discussing the running back room, Morgan specifically pointed to Jonathan Brooks' rehab progress and said the team was optimistic for him, but concluded they felt good about the room as a whole, quote, including Chuba Hubbard as our starter. Combine reporting, Jeremy Fowler. ESPN subsequently reported that if Carolina lost Dowdle, this is the report where it got weird, right? Because they said they believe Brooks is the Dowdle replacement. But then the team said that their comment on it was that he reached 21 miles an hour during rehab. So they believed he was getting back to, quote, the guy they thought he could be. Then in March, after Dowdle left when he signed, Canales explained his optimism for Brooks by referencing the player they originally evaluated. He said, I know what that player looks like. I have it in the back of my mind, and I think we're getting him. Once Canales actually got to see the rehabilitated Brooks approaching football, the last quote was that he looks and feels like the guy I remember. So then the only question there that you guys have to decide is, well, what was the guy they thought they were drafting when they took him? So I was actually curious. I went and looked up what are the running backs that went in that same range that he went of in the draft in the last 5 to 10 years. The 10 running backs that went right around where he went, and a lot of these guys were not coming off an ACL, are Derrick Henry, Le'Veon Bell, Nick Chubb, Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, James Cook, and Breece Hall. So it comes down to if they took him in a range where those guys were the draft capital invested, right? That's where like players like that go, sort of like back end running backs that could become stars. Remember, a lot of those guys we know are stars now. They were not necessarily considered like Hall of Famers coming out of the draft like they were now. The question that you have to ask yourself as to what that quote means, this is interpretive, it's subjective, there's no right answer, is why did Carolina draft Brooks where they did? What did they think the player they were getting was? I can't answer that for you. No one can. It is up to you to decide. If you believe that what they thought they were getting there was like a star running back on the caliber that those 10 guys were, then you feel really good about those quotes from the GM and Canales. If you think they were just taking him to be a guy, they didn't think he would be a special player, then those quotes mean nothing. And in fact, the one quote pretty explicitly said, and we're comfortable with Chuba as our starter from the general manager. So, that's how you should go about. If you're going to invest thousands of dollars like me and Ted are into fantasy, you should do your homework like that and know what you're talking about before you strongly go out online and tell people they're all stupid.
It's something I like to do a lot. I like to call people stupid online all the time.
Well, yeah, but you know.
Call those Twitter fingers.
Yeah.
I would love to see some Emeka Ibuka fall here. He only has to get one more spot. It does happen.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool for you. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to well, you know what? I haven't been taking enough Josh Allen. Normally I take like Josh Jacobs up here, but he's already gone. We'll go with a weird little Josh Allen and T. Higgins today.
Oh my God. So part of the reason I didn't take Josh Allen there is I was pretty confident that you weren't going to take him.
Oh no, I ruined it. Okay. Sorry.
Well, no, that's fine. I'll take Ladd in the 4th round.
That's a great value.
Happy with that as well.
That's a great value. I just have a thing about if I can get Josh Allen that late at the 3-4 turn, I think you have to take him. And then I know that we like very different receivers at the 5-6 turn, so I was actually trying to play us off each other in that way too. Okay. So my L, I have to take the first ever article I've had to edit. Very great response. Thank you guys so much. I'm getting up to 75 subscribers on Substack. Getting 700 to 1,000 views per article, which is really healthy. Like that's crazy to me. It's my first 2 weeks writing. But I took a giant L, and it's funny enough that I have to share. I have a policy here that I downvote myself. If I get beat up bad enough on Reddit, I'll be like, no, I want it. I want this to look like a massacre, and I will go in there and make it look like a massacre. So I am down like 20 points to this guy's 50, a 70 vote ratio. Here's the crux of the argument. When I originally wrote my 10 players priced at their ceiling article, I said that Burrow does not have top three upside this year. Okay, that's what I said. Burrow does not carry with him top three upside. Well, in the last 4 years, he has finished as the QB1 overall at 21.9 points per game, which was a low year for scoring, but he still did it. And technically, 2 years ago, he finished at 21.9 points, which is higher than Jaden Daniels or Drake May's career high. So I was giving a subjective opinion and saying it like it was a fact. This guy crushed me. He's only 1 year away from finishing as the QB3. I said, blah, 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 blah. I fire back at him in a non-effective manner, basically. And he said, it's nonsense. You're wrong. You can just count the numbers. And he was actually correct. He was correct. I should have just counted the numbers. What I was doing was using 2 year totals where he was the QB 5 or 6. But really, my bigger point here was like, why would you take Joe Burrow 50 picks ahead of Brock Purdy, who's outscored him the last 2 seasons collectively? Or why would you take him, however many picks ahead of or next to Jaden Daniels and Drake May when they can rush for 50 yards a game? I was trying to make that point, but that guy whooped me, dude. He mollywopped me, and it's okay. It forced me to go back and touch up the article, forces me to be a better writer. I should have been careful about saying that it was an opinion. It was not a fact. I still stand by it, though. I think you're crazy if you draft Joe Burrow in the 5th round. In best ball, when you're stacking him with Jamar Chase, that's a different thing. I just can't imagine what the rationale is of taking him there. He's missed 7 games or more per year in half of his NFL career. In half of his NFL career, he's missed 7 games or more per season. And, so I don't know. I don't know what you think, if you have strong feelings about Burrow. My point was really just don't pay up for a guy that has one path to success, which is throw for 4,500 yards and pass for 35 touchdowns. That's a hard thing to do. Very few players do that year in and year out.
Well, if you told me that Joe Burrow was for sure going to play the entire season, I would prefer him to Drake May. Jaden, I think, is kind of close. But yeah, that's part of the evaluation is his injury history. And the fact that the Bengals offensive line is Swiss cheese and gets him killed constantly. Oh, Roman Dunze early.
Constantly, dude.
It hurts. I wanted some Rome.
Dude, with the recent Luther Burden injury, people are getting wild about that. We can also hit on that.
All right. So here we go. This is where drafting next to Yanni is a benefit because I'm going to take Christian Watson here.
And then he knows. So,
and I know the two that you'll take. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So I've been just switching up these guys in this range, but I am getting so over the top bullish with both Parker Washington and Jordan Tyson. The Jordan Tyson clips are so good. I am gonna draft such a disgusting amount of Jordan Tyson, and then Ted gets it. So Ted with a great turn there. I love Christian Watson this year. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is underpriced despite that. Really, really nice. Again, I am calling this. This is the free Tendies fantasy start. If you guys follow us this year, this is how you're going to start your drafts, even in redraft. Running back, 4 great wide receivers. If you guys come out of this in a 12-team redraft double flex league, I think you are going to absolutely eviscerate your league mates. I believe there is a correct way to draft this year, and it is that way. Of course, I break my stride a little bit here for a Josh Allen, who's the only guy that I would like, I'd go with a Josh Allen. I'd go with a Warren or Loveland at the 4-5 turn. That's probably the only guy I'm breaking this build for. Maybe if Brock Bowers got back to me, like at the 2-3 turn, I would do that too. I actually probably would do that. But I love both our starts. Again, my start is certainly not going to be for Ted. He's very low on Washington, right? That's okay. But in general, this is just so good. Obviously, I prefer Cook to Hampton. I prefer Genty to Barkley, though. And then Egbuka is like my crown jewel in the 3rd round. And I think Ladd McConkey is an incredible pick in the 4th. I think Watson's an incredible pick in the 5th.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot more Watson than I thought I would this offseason because to me, Christian Watson is a much better pick when everyone's down on him late in drafts versus the years that everyone thinks he's going to finally put it together because he has never put together a full productive season in his career.
Yeah.
So that is, odds that Christian Watson misses time this year, I'd say it is more likely than not,
Hmm.
right? But I had to think about how I'm very bullish on the Jordan Love stuff this year. And I was like, well, I if Jordan Love's going to be good, like Christian Watson's going to be a piece of that, especially since they broke him off. So I'm more willing to take the shot this year.
Rico Dowdle starting to creep up a little bit because the beat has been pretty solid on him. I don't know. To me, the beat has made me not the beat. What the coaching staff has said has made me actually much more bullish on Warren than Dowdle. They said they think they have two RB1s there. And to me, if they really think they have two RB1s there, then I'm going to take the one that's going to catch a shitload of passes from a geriatric Aaron Rodgers who no longer wants to get hit. And then additionally, the one who's going to be the one who's one of the best pass blockers in the NFL when Aaron's terrified of getting hit versus the one that's one of the worst. I am very, very happy with the way the Warren reporting has gone this year as someone who's very high on him this year. Obviously, though, I think Dowdle in round 8 redraft, good bet. Good bet. I still like Dowdle too if you need some boring volume.
So I'm pretty excited about these next two picks I have coming up here. It will be Tucker Craft if he survives these next three selections. We'll see if he does, though.
Drake May and Lamar Jackson, it's a special fella. And then look at this guy in the first seed, just lighting a first. You get blessed with a first seed. Don't mind the first three at all. I think that's perfectly fine. Montgomery, Swift, Warren. Because what you need when you have Jameer Gibbs, perhaps the biggest upside swing in all of football at the running back position, you need volume based bets. Okay, who does Ted get? Ted gets his boy, Chuba Hubbard. Okay, I've been taking a lot of Alec Pierce here. So we will put him in the queue, and then I'm going to take Chris Godwin on the comeback. Build up our wide receiver room nice and tall there. Um, yeah. Like the boom bust. I like that combo a lot. You get the high ceiling boom bust guy with Alec Pierce, who's going to have spike weeks, and then Chris Godwin to fill in some floor. Godwin and Tyson double stack against each other during the year. That's always a nice, comfy pick for me. The Dalton Kincaid camp videos are looking pretty sweet. I'm getting excited about that. Ted gets the Herbert Ladd McConkey stack, absolutely elite. And then Ted, because he's smart, knows that I am out of the quarterback game for a while. So there's likely a little fella that we're going to have a race to at some point here, but we will see. Good draft.
Well,
Good.
here's the thing. So that Chuba pick was almost a Trevor Lawrence pick,
Hmm.
but I was like, because you have Parker Washington, right? I was like, well, maybe he stacks him there, but now that I have the four, in my opinion, wide receivers I feel really good about, I did want to get some more depth in the running back room. And then I figured you were not drafting Herbert under any circumstances, so I could wait until the 8-2. I didn't think
Yep.
you were taking an uncorrelated Herbert.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, technically, some of the high stakes guys consider a running back, quarterback a correlation or a stack. I don't. Because, like you're capturing a percentage of the offense like that way, but I don't know. Yeah, very good draft for Ted. Again, to me, this is the problem with redraft and why, like, I will still take Allen if he's at the 3-4 turn. Again, while I personally would not make a Chuba pick, like for me, that's going to be a big swing if I have these two. So like that would be a Monungai, a Corum, a Brooks there, because like I don't care about someone who's startable. That's my philosophy though. That's not correct. That's just how I structure a running back room in that way. But still, like the value there on Herbert, 50 picks past Josh Allen. If Josh Allen is not a 23 point per game plus guy, and Justin Herbert's like 18 and a half, 19, maybe 20 points per game, which I certainly think he can do this year, the value is not even close because it's what are we comparing here? Egbuka and Josh Allen. Actually, this is a funny comparison with Godwin and Chris Herbert. Give me Egbuka and Herbert there by like a pretty good margin. So it's Allen, Godwin, Egbuka, Herbert. I think Egbuka Herbert's a much better starting two there.
I'm still more than happy to take the third round Josh Allen just because I believe it's like the last 5 years he's been either the quarterback one
Yes.
or two in redraft, right? Like you're
Yep.
just locking in, barring injury, a complete stud in your lineup. You never have to worry about. And
Yep.
Josh Allen's one of the only quarterbacks I don't double tap the position on, right? Like I feel confident with a one quarterback Josh Allen roster versus like if I'm rolling in there with a Trevor Lawrence or a Brock Purdy or a Jackson Dart, I almost feel the need to double tap the position because I don't want to play the waiver wire. It all depends on your league too. Like if you're in a league where every manager subscribes to the one quarterback theory, then your waivers are going to be fine. But if you have a lot of managers that are taking two quarterbacks, like you Superflex bros will like feel this. Like it gets tough. Like when you're I had years where I was starting Andy Dalton on the Saints in Superflex just because all of the quarterbacks were gone, right?
Not ideal.
Kyle Pitts goes early. Let's see. I would be happy to add a Harold fan into this room, and I do.
Okay, so we're in a weird spot here where I have to reach on someone that I really like, which is not ideal. But what we're gonna do, I don't want to reach on like Kincaid. This is way early for Kincaid. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go Kenny Gainwell and Baker Mayfield. I get this combo a lot back here, but again, to me, I think Baker Mayfield might have an MVP season this year. I'm very committed to that take. Like I'm very confident in it. A little bit early to take a second quarterback with Josh Allen, but I like if you're gonna get a positional advantage, I want like a real positional advantage. That's a double stack Baker with an uncorrelated Josh Allen double hero start. I love this wide receiver room for these five guys. Feeling pretty great about that. We'll feel really good if we come around and get Kincaid, but he's sliding up draft boards a little bit. I don't know if Ted is into Kincaid this year. I haven't really heard you talk about him, but
I am on Josh Allen rosters,
yeah,
definitely. In redraft, Kincaid feels like he will just have spike weeks.
no,
The issue with him though is he's not consistent whatsoever because he just isn't on the field as much, right?
no,
Also, I took Pat Mahomes there in the 10th round. I was very excited to see his name at the top of the list.
yeah,
I did pass up on Jordan Love though, who would have been a correlation with my Christian Watson. That's okay though.
yeah. I actually have Mahomes below Watson or but below Love and Baker this year for my season ranks. Not
Listen,
a
man,
Mahomes drafter.
I will be a Chiefs slappy until Andy Reid and Mahomes are gone. I
Yeah,
don't care.
yeah.
Like
That's a good team
it
to be
is.
a slappy for.
Hold on, can you say something really quick?
Something.
Okay, you're fine. You are frozen in the Teams call, but you are coming through fine on stream.
Yeah, yeah.
So no need to do anything about that.
Yeah, cool. But you can still everything's cool. Like, is my screen frozen for you?
On in the Teams, yes, but
Okay.
not on stream, so it's fine.
Okay. Continue. These continue to be two. There goes Dalton Kincaid. You f. What? What? What stack did you? No, just getting a little Dalton. Okay, yeah, left his stack on the board with Isaiah Likely. The worst kind of person, dude. The worst kind
Well,
of person.
now that we have some camp clips of Dalton Kincaid looking good, that's gonna
Yeah,
start
yeah,
happening more.
yeah. Yeah, just unstacked, bro. Just out there free balling. All right. This always is the range that I end up like either double tapping tight end or get my other tight end in. I don't like the Jaden Higgins pick. I don't know what people are going for there. That is a strained passing offense as it is, and you're taking who is at best the second option, maybe the third option if Tank Dell really gets going this year. Don't understand that.
Well, Nico came out and was glazing how good Jaden Higgins is, so it's like kind of like a camp vibes pick.
To me, it's I'm interested in Nico Collins at the 2-3 turn. I'm interested in Tank Dell as my last pick, and that's going to be it. I don't feel the need
I'm very
to
excited about Tank Dell this year.
yeah, I don't feel the need to dabble any heavier. There goes my boy. Good. Take him. Take all of them.
Dude, am I crazy to prefer likely to Andrews, Kelsey, and Kincaid in this round?
No, they're all in the
To
same
me,
range. No, not crazy at all.
well, the reports coming out that likely is effectively the wide receiver one or two, depending on if Malik Neighbors is in the game, is very exciting to me.
Yeah. No, that's
So
not crazy at all.
I'll actually take him here, and then the tight end room is done for me.
Yeah, so we'll take who I consider to be a spike week tight end in Dallas Goddard. And then one of our favorites, I've been mixing in Debo Samuel in here pretty heavily, but I still think Rashid Shaheed has just great spike weeks this year. So we will leave Debo Samuel on the board to go wide receiver six, Rashid Shaheed.
This is interesting here. I'm actually gonna rip a Tyrone Tracy. Um,
Oh, love it.
there was almost a Dijon Stribling, but the Cameron Scattaboo getting hit hard on his leg and limping off of the field makes me think that you should be getting some Tyrone Tracy in the boat.
Dude, that was exactly what I needed for uh we won't get into the philosophical weeds here, but I one day I will write my dissertation on Bayesian style analysis, which is how I write. That's how I reason fantasy football. It means you think in probabilities, not in certainties. So like when things happen, you go, "Oh, this happened. I need to adjust my probability on like this event by 7%." And that's how like I think about who I want to invest in for fantasy. And with Scattaboo, I started the season at like I'm like 82% to 84% sure that I can go ahead and roll him out there as an RB1 or two if I have to in the fourth round. Like I was pretty in on that, the reports were looking good. And then it's like, okay, they're into Love. Eesh, that's like 3%, 4% down. Ooh, they're into J.K. Dobbins. That's like, because Love is generational. You could talk yourself into it. J.K. Dobbins is like, oh boy. So that's like 5 to 10% down. So now I'm like floating in the low 70s for into him. And then they're saying we don't know what the workload's going to be between him and Tyrone Tracy, who is 1,000-yard back-to-back player. So now I'm in the low 60s. And then they start going, well, he got hit and he couldn't practice the rest of the day. Oh boy. That is not good, dude. That is like where I'm panicking. And now I'm down at like, I consider him to be a 50-50 coin flip if he's going to not even just pay off at ADP, if you're getting a viable starter at cost. I'm actually worried about whether or not he's going to be able to finish the season now. That is not good, boys. That is not good. That's a pick that I'm going to be very comfy to leave on the board for my league mates.
He is still getting glazed in the fantasy community. BDGE, every single video that guy releases surrounds how much of a value Cameron Scattaboo is. He's got riders for sure.
Yeah, because that guy's a meathead. Oh, with his tough East Coast accent. He always talks to you like this, boys. This is what I'm doing. Smoochies. Smoochies. Oh, are you so tough, bro, that you say smoochies? Fucking with his
Yeah, he's
weird.
so tough. He has a stupid tattoo of a
Yeah.
line drawn bicycle
Yeah,
on his
dude.
forearm.
Yeah, bro. He's just one of those guys, man. He does this shit. He's in the trenches out here. And you know what's funny is he's actually like a great content creator. He's very popular. Like I respect him as a content creator. I just his that whole disposition is very odd to me. I don't watch a lot of that guy's stuff. But good for him.
He said he was interested in drafting James Cook at 7 overall. He's a James Cook guy this year.
I like that.
I co-sign any other James Cook Bulls out there. Did we get news on the Ty Johnson injury? There was some preseason football going on tonight that I missed since I was building chicken coops and watching UFC.
Limped off the field. That's all we got. Talking with trainers, limped off the field.
All right, well, that'll be a nice surprise for us.
We'll wait till we get to this turn, and I will hit on the Luther Burden news because I think that's a little ridiculous, but we'll get into it. Boston, dude. Talk about a beat buzz. Boston is getting buzz in Cleveland. I sure hope the 49ers.
Yeah, what was the report? They said that the beat reporter said that he believes that Boston and Casey Conception are clearly the two most talented wide receivers
Yeah.
on the team, which I would hope so if you're spending that draft capital to bring them in.
Yeah. Well,
It would be a little concerning if they were like, yeah, actually, Jerry Jeudy looks the best.
There goes Brenton Strange, my boy.
We're taking some Trey Tucker. That click
Nice.
never feels good, but the 140-point week he gets this year is going to be really exciting for me.
I really like the price of Jawan Johnson back here just for some volume behind Goddard because Goddard's a spike week guy, and then Tank Bigsby as our RB4. One of the best handcuffs in football. We're going for upside. Let's swing for upside.
And I feel really good about my running back room right now, so I'm going to go for wide receiver. I don't like this area for wide receiver, but I'll just take Ryan Flournoy. Like this particular round of Flournoy, Trey Harris, Tesla, A.D. Mitchell, like Branch, Washington, I don't like any of them. I actually like the next round where we get into the Dontavian Wickses, Tank Dells, Calvin Ridleys of the world. For whatever reason, I like that better.
I like Flournoy. I would have taken Trey Harris to stack with Herbert if I were a Herbert drafter, just because like I think he'll get some play this year. I just don't know how much. So the Luther Burden news, right? Because I'm really big on, I really do my due diligence. Like when one of these injuries happens, right, I'm immediately jumping into return to play timelines. I want to know what's going on, all that good stuff. And Luther Burden, it was hard to tell whether he got hit in the nuts or whether or not he got his ankle rolled. And then I saw like talk of a blown Achilles or an ACL. It's not a blown Achilles or an ACL. There's no way. What it looked to me like was he got a weird jamming of his ankle. A dude rolled into him, and he didn't come back in the field. We've had no news all day, which everyone thinks means there's really serious news. To me, it means there's no news, like nothing serious happened. But I do want to say, like, so what? Let's say it's a minor injury. What would cause me to be spooked off Luther Burden and to start aggressively jamming Roma Dunze more than I am? If we hear that it's a high ankle. So, continuously, year in and year out, the fantasy community does not properly account for how damaging to explosiveness and cutting a high ankle is. It's one of the reasons why Chuba Hubbard might be a really good pick this year, is because Chuba Hubbard had an early high ankle. CeeDee Lamb last year had an early high ankle. CeeDee Lamb said he was concerned his career would never be the same afterward. Saquon Barkley suffered an early season high ankle that ruined his year before he came out the next year. And I don't remember if he tore his ACL the next year or went nuclear that year. But Saquon Barkley had a high ankle that he said like he could not get right for 6 months. That's one that I want on people's radars. If you come across this video, if you hear or whatever, I don't think it's severe. I don't think it's season ending. If they say that he got a moderate to severe high ankle, I will under no circumstances draft Luther Burden for the rest of the year. And then I think like that turns Loveland into an incredible 4th round value and Odunze into an incredible 5th round value. So that's sort of how I'll play that. We'll see if we hear anything. Again, I seriously doubt we're going to hear. It would be crazy with all the hype on him if we hear like broken ankle or something or Achilles, blown Achilles. But he walked off under his own power. I don't think it's anything like that. But keep an ear out. If you hear high ankle, I'm pulling the ripcord. I'm out. Out. I will wish you guys the best.
Terrence Ferguson goes, we could not outferg JD30333.
Nope.
What do you think about pulling Ferguson up over Barner? That's what he did.
Nope. Barner had 20-point games last year, bro. I don't mind that. Like, if you're saying that you think Ferguson's their wide receiver 3 and you have Stafford, I think that's acceptable. We can go back and check if he had Stafford or not. But no. I think that's a wild decision.
He does have Stafford.
Okay, then yeah, that's acceptable. I think people forget that AJ Barner had like legitimate explosion weeks last year where he was going like wild for a period.
All right, so we're gonna get some Dontavian Wicks in the boat.
Okay. So all my like favorite guys are gone. I just tend to do Kate Otten when I'm back here late, but I went with the heavy non-wide receiver start, so we're going to do both Jerry Jeudy and Tank Dell here to deck out that room, get our wide receiver total up to 8. You do want to do an 8 build when you go running back, quarterback to start.
Everything in my body wants to go with Fernando Mendoza right now, but I'm going to make a click I haven't this year, and it is Marshawn Lloyd. Actually,
it's a good clip.
I feel like Marshawn Lloyd needs to be a click that we start doing if you are bullish on the Josh Jacobs premise and the Green Bay Packers running game. Like Marshawn Lloyd, like Josh Jacobs has missed practice. I think the last 2 days, Marshawn Lloyd has been starting for them. I do think that is like your dart throw, like running back 5, which is what he is on my roster, right? Like, I do kind of want to get my shots in there, just in case.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you probably should. I'm really not that. I'll worry about Jacobs if it like really extends. I'll start to panic a little bit. I'm not that worried about it yet.
Who knows? Maybe I get Fernando Mendoza to come all the way back to me. I don't think so, though. So this might end up. Well, I don't know. You have Jerry Jeudy. What are your thoughts on drafting Shedeur Sanders? Do I need to be worried?
You're good, man. That's all you. I wrote, look at my Quinshon Judkins section for my 10 players priced at their ceiling. Honorable mention Quinshon Judkins. While listed at ADP 42 on Draft Bros, Judkins has been a 5th round pick in every Best Ball or Yahoo mock I've done so far, so we're including him. This is how I route it up. You are leaving a myriad of wide receivers with league-winning upside in their range of outcomes to take a volume-based bet in Judkins. Volume that will come often on downs 1 or 2, while Dylan Sampson spells him on third down. Additionally, the defense and offensive line project to be way worse this year. Oh, and one last kicker. Their QB room is horrid, putrid, and abysmal. No, 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 no. Do not, under any circumstances, drop a 5th-round pick on Judkins over Mike Evans, who might have the highest usage season of his career. Terry McLaurin, who still could be a top 15 wide receiver. It's gotten less likely over the last few days, but Terry McLaurin, like Tyler Warren, Jaden Daniels, I think that is a wild decision to be like, no, I want some volume here. Some volume on the Browns with no quarterback. That's what this room needs.
Well, there's a new upside round 18 quarterback that has reached my. It is coming to my attention. It has
Okay.
come to my attention that this player could be high upside. Bonus points if you can guess who it is.
What's the Arizona dude? Beck? Carson Beck?
Yes, it is Carson Beck.
It's ridiculous,
So
dude.
I'm gonna take Jacoby Lane here.
It's insulting to me. Okay.
Dude, that guy looked like Joe Montana out there.
Yeah, man. The Panthers' 4th string is basically Joe Montana. Oh, you're killing me.
Get in here, Carson Beck.
All right, Ted can enjoy his Carson Beck. Okay, I think it's a good draft for both of us, man. Okay, Ted, Cook, Barkley, Agbuka, McConkey, Watson, Thomas, the free Tendies fantasy start. 2 running back, 4 wide receiver. Hubbard, Herbert, Fannin, Mahomes, Likely, Tracy, Tucker, Flournoy, Wicks. Really good 3 values there. All those guys should have spike weeks at some point this year. Jacoby Lane, who's getting like serious hype. I think that's a good pick. Marshawn Lloyd, Carson Beck. Goofy Carson Beck. For me, Hampton, Genty, Allen, Higgins, Washington, Tyson, Pierce, Godwin, Gainwell, Baker Mayfield, Goddard, Rashid Shaheed, Juwan Johnson, Tank Bigsby, Tank Dell, Jerry Jeudy, Ingram, Braylon, Allen. Very happy with that roster as well.
Dude, can we deny how good Carson Beck looked in the Hall of Fame game?
He did look great. He did look great. That is true, sir.
That was incredible, man. I was talking to the Arizona Bayhams, who they're all diehard Cardinals fans. They love the Arizona Cardinals, and that was one of the first things that my cousin Jack, who watches the program pretty regularly, asked me. Well, what do you think about Carson Beck? Right? And I was like, well, I feel like he's a career backup. Like,
Yep.
he might be pro ready, but like, he wasn't a great prospect coming out of school, other than he just went to like the schools that won, right? But he looked pretty good. Listen, if you're gonna to me, there's far more upside in a shot like that than a Tua Tagovailoa or a correlated Shador Sanders with my Harold Fannin.
Yeah, what I don't want to do when I'm back there is, you're just trying to avoid a 0, right? He might not be a 0. All right, I am ready to go when you are, but you count it down as usual.
Hold on. All right, let me get in here.
Looking
Are
forward.
we doing 2 or 3 tonight?
It's up to you. Looking forward to my regular pick 7. Something stupid. Go ahead.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm looking forward to drafting right next to you, Yanni, because that's
Always,
what
bro.
happens.
Always. Okay, so let me see if I got any other feedback that wasn't just a complete ass beating. We can go ahead and close that. God, that was bad. Any other feedback worth? A lot of discussion about the running back dead zone this year not really being dead. I think that is valid. I'm actually totally comfortable if you guys want to dabble in the red zone this year. It is just be aware that historically it is not a good bet. This dude pushed back pretty hard. Why do you have Jacobs, Love, and Hall above Javonte? Probably a valid point. A lot of people seem to be very high on Javonte. I'm just not personally. It's actually the most irrational stand I have in my running back thing. I can't tell you why. I just don't feel good about Javonte. And it's very weird. No. Where's Ted? No.
Guess.
No way. Oh, all
It's
right.
a 1-6, by the way. Every single time this happens.
Well, it's not. See, but
We've hit like 8 out of 9.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, though. It's not because see, for 1-6 to hit 8 out of 9 times is actually pretty crazy odds. Now, it doesn't mean I know what you're right. Every new time we re-roll the dice, it's the same odds. But like back to back is 1-36. Back to back to back, like we went the other day, is 1-216. because you're doing 1-6 times 1-6 times 1-6. That's the one that's hitting every time. That's pretty crazy. It's actually very weird that we keep doing that.
By the
Okay.
way, we are up to 39% James Cook in the portfolio now.
Good Lord. Well, I'll
I'll
help.
continue to grow that position.
No, you won't.
Oh, oh,
No, I'm saying
all
no,
right.
no,
Well,
you won't.
geez.
Look at the screen. No, you won't.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know that, but I
No.
thought you were just trying to diversify still.
Not with the news that Ty Johnson might be out. The heaviest targets per route run and yards per route run running back in the NFL for 2 years running. He might be out for James Cook. So what? We might get fucking 25 touch Cook with 5 to 7 targets a game from Josh Allen. That there's no, in my mind, there's almost no difference between Cook and Bijan and Gibbs except for talent. He's not as physically talented, but in terms of the fantasy asset he could be, if they actually had to use him in a 3 down role, like if he got all of Ty Johnson's work, I would take him at 3. So it's not. It's like, yeah, dude, that's. Now we have to go back in. We have to keep building out that position now that we know. And then unfortunately, because stupid slick Rick's knee, it's Rick gets shot and then his knee goes out. I have like a bunch of James Cook paired with Ricky Pearsall, and those are all dead probably. So, you know.
R.I.P. Ricky.
Do you feel better about? I did put this in the article, and I am warming up to him. I have him right next to Cook. I'm fine doing them interchangeably. Do you feel better about Jonathan Taylor now that we avoided a holdout? No soft tissue concerns or anything like that. I was kind of worried we were going to get to that point.
I was never really concerned about Jonathan Taylor. In that regard, my concern with Jonathan Taylor is the offensive environment of the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, yeah, brutal playoff schedule too. But I mean, just get there. Who
All right.
cares? But
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm not drafting CD Lamb because I don't like how my roster shape up. I'm pulling up Saquon,
that's fine.
the 110.
All right. Ted going for his boy Saquon. Ted had Saquon that year in our home league. Didn't you have Jonathan Taylor too, or you had another running back that was really
Yep,
good?
it was Jonathan Taylor round 1, Saquon round 2. Yep.
And that was the year that one was a weird year for Taylor because he was like RB 18. I think he didn't have quite the explosion that year, but Saquon went wild, and ever since then, Ted has been the biggest Saquon stan in the world, which is great. You should be. If you have a season like that with a guy.
I was a Saquon stan the year before as well.
Yeah. You did the biggest balls thing I've ever seen during McCaffrey's prime. You took Saquon Barkley over McCaffrey. Okay, so who do I have the least with? I have a lot of Devon Achane with Cook, but I'm gonna do Derrick Henry. This is another one that I've got some pushback for. Is why do I have Derrick Henry? Is like I would be comfortable taking him at the 2-1-2 turn. Vegas projects them to be the number 3 offense in the NFL. That offense added 2 good rookie receivers. They just extended Flowers. Lamar says that they're finally running a complex system where they're moving dudes all around. It's the Ben Johnson. It's the first hire out of the Ben Johnson coaching tree as their head coach. I think Derrick Henry's going to score 15 to 20 touchdowns again this year. And in half PPR, that's really valuable. I am not scared off Derrick Henry one bit just because he's old. I know people are finally starting to get off the wagon and they want to get off a year early before a year too late. I understand. For me, I'm going to be on one more year. Maybe next year we revisit it.
I feel like, do you remember who was that guy? Max Kellerman. How
Yes.
every year Max Kellerman would come out on whatever stupid show he was on with Michelle Beadle and talk about how it was over for Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
just every single year he was wrong. This is how I feel fading Derrick Henry at this point. But I pulled the ripcord last year, so now I'm in.
So you're
I'm in
doing,
on fading him. But
you're doing that whole tier above him, the whole RB12 tier, all these guys.
the way I have that like turn, I guess after James Cook ordered, or I guess after CMC and Taylor, right? The way I have it in order is Saquon, Genty, Hampton, Chase Brown, Walker, Achane, Henry.
Yeah, so you have
in that order, and I just take whichever are available. Yep.
Now here's my question. Well, you see, you're not as big on these guys as I am, I don't think. But would you pull up a Drake London, Brock Bowers, or AJ Brown? I'm not as big on Brock, but Drake London and AJ Brown are the two for me. I wonder about. Would you pull up either receiver over Henry? Nope. No. Okay. So you're not.
Nope.
Yeah, you're not there. That's reasonable. Oh, look at that. Could
That-
you imagine Puka Nakua, Drake London, Emeka Ibuka? Oh my God.
I'd rather have Rasheed Rice, who went right after him. I mean, he left that on the board, but I understand the Egbuka swing.
Oh my God. That is art.
Dude, is Trey McBride gonna make? Oh no, he's not. Okay. Well,
It's
shouldn't
fun.
open my mouth.
It's very funny that we've drafted next to each other enough that you just sort of know, God damn, dude, Zay Flowers there would have been my absolute preferred pick. It would have set us up nicely for a Lamar stack. Instead, we're going to go Lad. I want more Lad in the portfolio. I do not have enough Lad in the portfolio, even over T. Higgins, who I probably like more in a vacuum. Just feel like we don't have enough Lad going. Can't keep.
Garrett Wilson at the 311. That's interesting.
He's been a good player. I get it.
This is. Oh man, am I gonna do it? Yeah, I am. It's too cheap. Too cheap for Javonte Williams.
Round four, Javante is a banger. I would do that. In redraft, he's creeping up to pick 30. It's too high for me.
No wide receivers through the first 4 rounds is freaky, but
what do you
whatever.
got? Did you go Josh Allen into? Oh yeah. All right. So Ted's got some making up to do, but I think that's a great. If you're gonna start like that, like start with something incredible, like Barkley, Genty, Allen, and Williams. Um, okay, so this is again a start that I would love to be. I much prefer Zay Flowers or Emeka Egbuka here, and I think in Yahoo they'll be back here. I think this is a best ball thing, but still, if I start off with this, boy, do I feel great. James Cook, Derrick Henry, Lad McConkey, Jalen Waddle. That is awesome. Frankly, if it fell to me, I would be comfortable going redraft what Ted did and just figuring out wide receiver. Like I would take 5 straight wide receivers after that, and I think you'd be just fine. You'd have to punt at tight end. I think you could win a league with that start.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll see what happens here. This is one I haven't built a room like this yet.
Oh, I've done a few of those, man.
I just didn't, like T. Higgins versus Josh Allen. I think that Josh Allen is going to help you win more than T. Higgins is, even though I like T. Higgins.
Yeah, he will. He will.
That's a 4-9 Matt Stafford, by the way. Fourth round Matt Stafford.
Watch. I bet you he's somewhere telling his buddy, "Watch, bro. It's unique. It's unique." You could have gotten him at 75. You could have gotten him at 93. That's one of my things with like Chess Liam that always annoys me, dude. That guy will do weird stuff like he pulled Zay Flowers or a Emeka Egbuka into the second round and goes. He explained it. I get the logic. Oh, Parker Washington, my boy, he's gone. He's gone. He explained it.
When you are pulling Parker Washington here, you are a slappy. You are a dumb slappy when you are drafting Parker Washington over Terry, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams.
Yeah. No. So for me, I would consider him over. Like, see, I don't though. I have him in a different tier. I don't like some of the profile stuff with Devontae Adams going for 700 yards and 14 touchdowns. That bet does actually freak me out a little bit. With like, just that's not like a robust profile. That's not a robust usage profile. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. If Devontae Adams falls to the 5'10" here, I will start doing jumping jacks after just completely punting on the wide receiver position like this.
Well, you should be hoping DJ Moore gets back to you. You have the stack. And I am not much of a DJ Moore drafter, unfortunately. And I swear this is not to mess you up. Unfortunately, I will take him if you can check my queue, you can see it. If my queue is empty by the time I get back to you, I will take him. There's a guy that
I'm not cheating and looking at your queue.
Oh, you can look at my queue. I invite you to. Oh my God, is it going to happen for me? Am I going to get my boy in the mid-fifth? It's not going to happen, is it? Is it? Oh, okay. So we are in fact going to take Devontae Adams back here and bum Ted out. Sorry, buddy.
That's fine by me.
I was hoping for Mike Evans. I thought Mike Evans was going to get back there. I think I would. I think in redraft I think I would take Christian Watson over Devontae Adams. Just for me, that was a weird place to get Devontae to fall back. I don't know if he's going to fall that far very often, so I wanted to have this sort of interesting build there. That
Rome Dunze, no.
Yeah,
I wonder if I should have pulled up Roma Dunze in the hopes that these guys would have been disgusted by DJ Moore.
I don't know. He's starting to get good camp buzz, right? He's getting the cool film. The cool film is going out from him. So guys are getting excited. Okay, we take such a disgusting amount of Jordan Tyson and are going to continue to through redraft. But we're going to take Carnell Tate this time. I try to do about like 15% Carnell Tate to like 70, 80% Jordan Tyson when I have a choice between the two. He does look very good in camp. The videos have been awesome. So we get a good ADP discount on those two guys, just a little bit of an ADP discount on those two guys. Very happy with my start through four. Let's see what Ted is cooking over here. Yeah, he gets Brian Thomas, who he's very high on. We're both. I think you guys should be taking Brian Thomas at cost. But that is how you recover in part. The hard part is this next turn. I find you're often going to take like a Jaden Reed and Alec Pierce, which I'm okay with, or like a Chris Godwin. I liked Sutton, but I'm getting a little creeped out by the Sutton thing. It just seems like it's not trending in the right direction. I don't know what's going on there. Love this. Chase, Neighbors, Love, Williams, Swift, Burrow. Very nice, stable build. I think you can rock that in redraft if you wanted to. Love that. I know these aren't guys that Ted is necessarily big on, but Bijan, Pickens, Smith, Tootin, Washington, Prescott, that is beautiful as well, sir. And
I mean, you could have replaced Parker Washington with Mike Evans, Derek Lauren, Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
It's just all better.
I'm not taking him over those guys.
That guy, him so smart, 99, is, I guarantee you, he's a content guy. He's bad, bro.
Of course he is. I like that dude. I like that.
We actually have all the badge bros at the front of this draft, and we have 4 not badge bros at the end of the draft.
I like that team a lot, dude. I think those are both really cool builds, both of them. I wouldn't take Burden. I would not have taken Burden there. But
and he takes Trevor Lawrence over Drake May, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but it's the double stack. You get the Parker Washington Tootin stack. I think that's okay.
I mean, like, yeah, for correlation, but I'm starting to rethink my position on correlation in these contests when you're like dipping way down, I guess. It's not to say that I don't want to correlate anymore, but I am more willing now to just take a good quarterback that falls. Like, that's the Drake May going after all those guys. That's just like a correlation thing, right? Like, no, Jaden Daniels is not correlated with anyone. Neither is Lamar. I don't know. That's weird.
Well, speaking of correlation, I have to leave one of the loves of the podcast on the board because I do want to stack Ladd and Herbert, and I have to leave our boy who will be snapped up quickly here. Actually, he's got a tough choice to make because of his roster build. Yeah. Got to go wide receiver there.
That's when you kick yourself for drafting those running backs early, but it is what it is.
That will be in the free Tendies fantasy draft article. Is just going to be that this year is so absurdly loaded with value. You guys got to try your best to stay as balanced as you can through 6 or 7 rounds. Again, like if you watch the way now, again, I'm okay with the robust running back start. I like the robust running back start, but just if you watch the way that me and Ted are building, we are building very balanced rosters for the most part, where like we can take whatever position we want later. It's very important this year because there's real value to be found later.
So I'm going to take Alec Pierce here and just hope that he plays. Please come back, Alec Pierce.
Yeah, I have to do that too with a worse bet. I'm going to take Cortland Sutton and just hope that he plays, and that gives me the double stack. That opens me up to the double stack with Bo Nix because I have Jalen Waddle. I think Sutton might get traded. It's weird to me the way he has been held out of practice for like 4 veteran rest days in a row with no injury designation. I kind of wonder what's going on there.
He might be getting traded.
I think the 49ers should make a call if he's cheap enough. Very similar body type to Mike Evans, but they need like perimeter threats there and like, downfield threats. They just don't have that right now. Like take the top off the defense guys. Mike Evans is not as fast as he used to be. If he were as fast as he used to be, he would be that guy. And then losing Ricky is tough, man.
What are your thoughts on Diggs now that Laramie Tunsil's out for the year? Are you just lower on the Skins offense as a whole?
Diggs or Terry or the offense in general? Because Diggs, I mean, you know, Diggs is a slot receiver. He
Well, I
gets
have
short
Diggs in
work.
my queue. That's why I asked. I
Okay.
asked that, but like I thought, I came around to just saying the offense as a whole because I think it's a better question.
So you know my thing, right? We've talked about this quite a bit. I don't think the general fantasy public has any concept of how damaging losing a left tackle is to the offense. And the Redskins went and invested heavily in O line this year with the thought that the O line would be the engine of the football team. Laramie Tunsil is one of the best left tackles in football. To lose him for 8 to 12 weeks, there is no player that affects EPA per play more than the left tackle besides a quarterback going down. So like left tackles are worth the most points above replacement of any player in the NFL. To lose a left tackle before the season, there's no way that you can say it doesn't factor into how you view the offense. It's just hard to say is he out for 12 weeks or 8 weeks, you know? But dude, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. I don't know if it necessarily like what do I change, right? Because Jaden will rush a little more. Stephon Diggs will still catch short passes more because Jaden will have to get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker. Where I'm a little bit worried is it hurts Terry McLaurin's chances at those downfield routes because those take time. So like I'm trying to, like
Yep.
that year that they went nuts. How many times can you remember off the top of your head like a 30 to 40 yard bomb, right? So like that's what I'm
Yeah.
worried about. What do you think about
Well, they
that?
also didn't have Larry Tunsil that year either.
Well,
But
yeah,
yeah,
but
it does concern me.
it's not
For
good, dude.
sure. Like when you can get Terry, like he dropped to the mid fifth round in this draft. Like I'm more than happy to take him there. But
It's not
does it
good.
change the order? Because right now I prefer Terry to Mike Evans and Jameson Williams and Luther Burden. Like, does that change? Like, maybe I don't think so. Like,
Terry, Mike
I'd have to
Evans.
be like one of those guys who's like a Luther Burden guy, I think, to get him over. But I already had my concerns about that player, anyways.
I'll tell you what, I would judge you less for taking Luther Burden over. Again, I don't even judge Luther Burden over Terry. So we take Bo Nix, complete the double stack there. Our quarterback room is done. We're going to leave it at there. For me, it's more like so. Just the most pretentious thing to use a abstract philosophical term in the context of best ball, but again, Bayesian analysis, right? It's just about like what do I think the odds of hitting his high end range of outcomes are. Every time one of these little like fucked up events happens, I just lower it a little bit in my head about like, ooh, that's not good, and then ooh, that's not good. And now with Terry, we've had a season riddled by injury, but I was willing to get over it. He got extended, he had a hernia, whatever. I think he's fine. But then we get Stephon Diggs added. Still not a big deal, but probably lowers his chances of getting 150 targets. We have the Jaden Daniels injury concerns. Again, I don't think that's a huge thing, but it's like a little bit on my mind. Um, we don't have a tight end, but we're going to take a bet that Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt gets the starting job in. I like taking this for just an upside swing at running back 3 because then this running back room gets crazy. So what's happening now is it's when I start to worry a little bit because I try to think about my fantasy portfolio and probabilities. There's like these stacking probability, like negative outcomes for Terry that were not there a couple days ago. And so now all of a sudden I'm just a little bit uncomfortable. Whereas like I thought there was a really good chance Terry got 140 to 150 targets this year and would be a league winner in the 4 or 5 turn. So that's all it is. I mean, what do you do with that information? It's hard to say. Do you like take him in the 5, 6 turn now? That seems too low. You know?
Yeah, I think I'm not going to move Terry so much as much because I am like very bullish on the Jaden Daniels return to form,
Yeah.
but it does lower my expectations for the offense ever so slightly.
Yeah, like it's just not great, dude. And again, losing a left tackle is like a really big thing. If you start getting if you start getting behind in passing downs and then you can't run the ball as much because you're not in running downs, then you're one dimensional, then Jaden starts getting hit. It's just like this whole series of events. They have a very good O line around Tunsil, but they lost a premium left tackle. That is genuinely a pretty serious thing for generally a pretty serious thing for NFL offenses to deal with. So
What do you think the chances are Dalton Kincaid makes it back to me? Probably pretty low, right?
135 picks past ADP. That's not pretty low.
There he goes.
Okay.
As soon as I say it.
I would say zero. I would say zero now.
Yeah,
Unless
I would have to agree with you, sir.
you could call the fella and just ask him, like, hey man, I really wanted Dalton. I did that last year with the guy that drafted Terry in our League One. I sent him DJ Moore, who I got at the 6-7, and Jerry Jeudy for Terry McLaurin, and he accepted the hour after the draft. I was like, dude, why would you do that? Why would you even draft those players? You know? So that might be something I try this year.
Well, you know.
Snap trades off the rip.
Wait, who did you say you traded again?
Remember in League One, I sent the guy DJ Moore and Jerry Jeudy right after the draft for Terry McLaurin, and he accepted. He had a bad.
Well,
He
I
had,
mean, yeah,
you know,
DJ Moore was highly coveted though at the
yeah,
time. Like there was DJ Moore, so like he probably thought, oh, well, I'm getting extra bonus like player here,
no.
and he probably looked at them similarly. Would be my guess.
Okay, we get a favorite of mine, Mark Andrews, my highest owned tight end. Besides Brenton Strange, I have taken a lot of Brenton Strange in round 5, but I'll anchor because I don't really have these are like later tight end guys, and I don't like what Gadsden's been saying about he needs to learn how to pass block or he's not going to get on the field. That is ugh.
It's the second draft in a row I've gone. Fannin and Likely is my wide receiver room. I could correlate here with Khalil Shakir, but I'm not going to do that because I just don't like my wide receiver room very much right now. I'm adding a Rashid Shaheed because I just feel like he'll be a better player this year.
So that would have been Rashid Shaheed for me. We will go Tyron Tracy Jr. I don't know about you, dude. Like, I don't know how on board you are with this, but I hit on this pretty hard with like my because we've talked about it a lot over the years, and I feel like we've both sort of incorporated it a little more into our like system. But the developmental like running back 5 or wide receiver 5 for redraft, to me, like when you go and pick your 5th wide receiver or running back, if you pick it for volume, like if you're just like, well, I think he has a role, like I don't understand what that pick is. So like in redraft, right? Why would you ever take a Khalil Shakir, who what do you hope? Like you have a safe 8 points you can plug in. You can stream that off the waiver wire. Why would you ever take?
I don't know, man. Khalil Shakir's been pretty good. Like
Oh God,
as a fantasy
dude.
asset, he's been pretty good. Like he's been the
No.
wide receiver 1 there. If you
Oh.
one of the things that I was arguing with this little twink on Twitter about today is he was saying that the chemistry between Trevor Lawrence and Parker Washington is clearly better than the chemistry between that of BTJ and Trevor Lawrence. And they cited the fact that a lot of BTJ's, I guess, production his rookie year came with Mac Jones instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that, and I think this is true. Correct me if you don't think this is right, Yanni, but I think that you cannot determine whose chemistry is better. Like it's a completely subjective thing, right? You're looking on the outside and saying, well, I think his chemistry with that player is better. Like we can make our guesses, but no one actually knows that. So I was like, well, that's what I said. I was like, well, it's a completely subjective point you're making. Like,
Yeah.
what did the guy say? He said like, well, look at what do you say? Well, look at the Packers with Devontae Adams and MVS. Whose chemistry do you think was better there?
Yeah, that's.
And I was like, well, first of all, those are entirely different classes of players.
Yeah, yeah.
And second of all, now like years later that we've seen that Aaron brought like Devontae Adams with him to New York, we can say that. But he also brought guys like Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, who he may have had good chemistry with, but it didn't matter at all, right, for fantasy.
Yeah, so there's actually it's for anyone that's taken a research methods course. That's called a third variable. It's a really stupid thing to say, right? Well, do I have another? Oh, I do have another quarterback. Okay. Yeah, it's like, bro, there's a third variable that varies between Devontae Adams and MVS. It's talent. There's a talent variable that's pretty different. Between those two gentlemen. Again, I just said I was scared off of Aronde Gadsden. It kind of sucks to have the stack staring me in the face here late. But I really am pretty freaked out.
Oh, no. There goes Bryce Young. We are in trouble in this quarterback room. This is not good.
We're going to go with a pretty robust RB room. This is way more than I normally build, but at least it's a sick room. James Cook, Derrick Henry, JCM, Tyron Tracy, Bigsby. Let's go.
I'm getting some Jalen McMillan in the boat, and I'm just going to pray that, the quarterback room, it actually has to be Fernando Mendoza as my next pick. So I kind of got boxed out of this draft. Maybe I'll think twice next time about not taking a wide receiver until my, I guess, fifth round pick.
We are gonna take a guy I was hilariously grinding scouting reports on because I have no life. Trey Harris. Trey Harris as Justin Herbert's potential. I think he's the wide receiver 3. The only question is, does he get like actual use there at some point this year? Don't touch him in redraft. Take him in best ball just in case.
Yanni, what do you be honest with me? What do you think the chances are for Fernando Mendoza starts by week 7?
Week 7, like 60,
Week 7.
65 to 70%.
Okay, so my roster is just Josh Allen and Fernando Mendoza right now, and Josh Allen's bye is a week 7. So
Oh
I'm trying to say, well,
no.
do I need to draft another quarterback?
Oh no. Wait, who did you leave on the board, dude? Oh well, Geno Smith. Eesh. I mean, you could
Yeah,
take.
no, I'm not like, dude. I would just take Tua in the last round.
No,
Like, I
no, no,
think they're the
no.
last quarterback that's gonna.
No, you take Kirk Cousins. You can take Kirk Cousins in the last round, then you just have their starting quarterback as your backup.
You're kind of spitting there.
Yeah, maybe.
Hold on, you're kind of spitting.
It's absolutely not spitting when you're saying you should double up on Raiders quarterback Kirk Cousins. Did you saw that AI video of them like bullying the? Oh my God! Wait, was that a joke or Adam Schefter? I think it was real. Fucking Kirk and Max Crosby got in a fight at practice. Did you see that?
Yeah, I guess they did.
Yeah, well, so no, I thought it was a joke because of that AI video of like Kirk holding Mendoza against a locker and Crosby bullying him. Did you see that one? I thought Schefter was making
I
a
did
joke.
not. No.
Okay, well, it's funny. You should see it. I thought Schefter was making a joke. No, I think he actually got suspended. Okay, now so here, if we get Gadsden in the 175, 22 picks past ADP, that is ridiculous. We will do that.
Yeah, I think that the fantasy community has gone a little too far on the Gadsden stuff with the
Yeah.
growing uncertainty of his role within the offense. Yes, I agree that he should have been going lower once we're getting this, I guess, litany of reports that
Yeah.
are kind of crushing his run blocking. But when we're getting down into the Kenyon Sadiqs and Dalton Schultzes
Yeah.
of the world or Gunnar Helms of the world, like one of those guys is significantly more talented than the rest of them.
Okay, I'm going to take the rookie tight end who had an excellent season with like 700 receiving yards last year and stack him with Herbert. If his price range
Yeah,
is
that's
gonna
savage.
if his price range is gonna be down here, then he turns into a must draft player for me. That's way too low.
Yeah,
That's
man.
interesting.
Like the guy before you took Kenyon Sadiq instead. Like, look at all these tight ends that went around him. I don't think that's close. I think you got the best value.
Yeah.
Oh, I got out Ferged. I got out Ferged.
Yep. You asked an interesting question today. Would you draft or do you think anyone will draft Ferguson in the 15 free Tendies fantasy leagues? Pretty good question. I'm curious about it. Here's how I'm playing it. There are positions this year where I may end up punting on tight end all the way. This is because I believe in the 8th round or 9th round. So you got to think about where you're drafting, right? If you draft first, you're going to be drafting at the 8-9 turn. At the 8-9 turn, so we're going to take Dontavian Wicks, who me and Ted have been crushing all year. And there's actually, believe it or not, a real drum beat going for Dontavian Wicks at the Eagles camp right now. People are loving him. Ted gets another favorite, 2 favorites of our channels. Dylan Sampson on a nice little slide and Tank Dell. Love that. So, so I typically want to be taking tight end high. I gave you guys one in every article I would take rounds 1 through 8. But if I get there at the 8-9 turn, so this is like the front half of the draft or the second half of the 8th round, if I get there and there is still a Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, or Trevor Lawrence on the board, 3 guys who I think could be top 6 quarterbacks this year, or even like if Brock Purdy's there in the 9th, who I think could be up. I had Bo Nix up there, but I want to drop him a little bit because some of the stuff about his ankle is a little sketchy. Or like a Jackson Dart who was averaging over 20 points a game before his like 1-point game against Minnesota. I think there's situations where you might end up punting on tight end this year, and I take like a Dallas Goedert really late. That's one of my late guys. Whoever your late guy is, you might end up punting. I still think Chig Okonkwo is going to catch 50 balls this year, even if Stephon Diggs is there. He's caught 50 balls every year of his career with way worse play around him. I think he's fine. If you do that, I am interested in circling back around and taking Ferguson and holding him for 3 or 4 weeks and just seeing. Like, if Ferguson gets 5 targets a game, 5 to 7 targets a game with the Rams, which is unlikely, it's hard for him to carve that out between the running back usage and the wide receiver usage. We've seen some like really good floor and upside from high usage Sean McVay tight ends, like guys that are not as talented, in my opinion, as Ferguson as a receiver. I think that's a good bet. I think that could be one of those things where you hold him for a few weeks and maybe he takes a hold. And like if he catches 65 balls there this year, like you probably get a low end tight end one. And they sent him downfield last year. The team is saying they view him, the beat is saying they view him as a wide receiver 3 based on what they've seen in camp. That's an interesting one to me. Do you think you're pulling that trigger at all, Ted, on like just speculative last player on your bench for redraft Ferguson, or is that just a best ball kind of fun dart throw for you, and you're not going to feel the need to go any further?
I think it's a best ball fun dart throw. I did have a mock where Terrence Ferguson was in my starting lineup.
Yeah, don't do that.
And it was because there were all the teams that were auto-drafted 2 tight ends. So like I don't know, like if there's another 18 tight ends off the board and you're in the TJ Hawkinson, Pat Fryermuth, Greg Dulcich, Jawan Johnson range, I can see a world where that makes sense, but
okay, so you're just not, to you it's a bet, to you it's a fun best ball thing to you.
You know what? I'm gonna get some Jacoby Brissett in here. Uncorrelated Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what you do.
Surely either Jacoby Brissett is still starting week 7 or Fernando Mendoza is already starting by week 7.
Did this guy get
one of those things surely happens.
Yeah, that guy got Lamar. So that's a really good turn for him. Lane into Bateman. Into Booty. Very good work, sir. I hated this first drafter. This guy sucks. This guy went Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy. I don't understand that.
Jerry Jeudy goes, we're on the clock. I'm going to put some...
That would be Keenan Allen for me.
No. I'm actually going to put a Braylon Allen in the boat here as my 5th running back. A lot of times I'd be fine with rolling 4 here, and I kind of wanted to put Kalen Black in the queue there, but my thinking was if one of these running backs goes down, I need someone who I think can not goose egg for me. If Christian McCaffrey stays on the field, I think he might just get all the work, and I think Braylon Allen will be involved no matter what.
So I kind of like Braylon Allen.
That was the thought process.
I like Braylon Allen in the last round this year. Okay, let's see who won this one. I'm pretty proud of this draft. It's always harder when you got to make up like a very skewed start like that, which Ted certainly had. I go Cook, Henry, McConkey, Waddle, Adams, Tate, Herbert, Sutton, Nix, Jakrowski, Andrews, Tracy, Bigsby, Harris, Gadsden, Wicks, Bryant, Ingram. Bryant and Ingram for the stack with Bo Nix. Wicks because he continues to be one of my favorite picks late here. I think he's going to play a lot more than people think. Trey Harris, just the dart throw that maybe he gets a hold of the work there with his run blocking. Ted goes, Barkley, Genty, Allen, Williams, Moore, Thomas, Godwin, Pierce. Absolutely love those 4 wide receivers, like to catch up there. I think that's about as well as you could have done. Fan and Wandale, huge favorite of mine. I love Wandale Robinson this year. Likely with Fannin, very strong tight end room too. Shaheed McMillan, very good turn. Mendoza, Sampson, Dell, Brissett, Braylon, Allen. Yep, that's a great draft too. I think you caught up just fine, dude. I think Pierce plays this year.
It felt goofy to me. I liked the Wandale pick. Like, I'm not a huge Wandale guy, but in this wide receiver room that I did not feel great about, I wanted someone who I thought could present a floor. And I thought, Wandale, who better of a floor play than Wandale Robinson?
He was wide receiver 15 last year. How dare you? All right, you want to do one more? You said you might want to do 3.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right.
I'm down, dude. I got the bug. We got the money in the account.
Oh my God!
Hold on, but before we go, let me update my Indecent Exposure. By the way, shout out to Indecent Exposure.
Shout out to
for giving us this draft tool.
Yeah, sorry I'm not using it today. We were going over the Substack and the Reddit comments. That is why I just had all my windows up here, and I have to sign in on everything on Google. I gotta get that figured out. Okay, no rush at all.
Yanni thought it was more important to talk about the Reddit and show the Reddit post than it was to use Indecent Exposure's tool. What a
Hey,
scumbag.
hey, man, when I get destroyed on an online fantasy football debate, like that's a big deal. I pride myself in not taking L's like that because like I'm pretty quick. I'm pretty quick verbally, and I took an L today. Had to share it
All
with the
right, you
world.
ready?
Yep, count us down.
3, 2, 1, go.
Can't wait to be next to each other again. Let's see. Did the downvotes continue on this? I don't. Do I want to
Hold
look?
on, hold on. I accidentally hold on. I clicked the wrong one. I clicked the wrong one.
I'm still in 10 people. Just circle back. We have 10 people.
Okay.
9 people.
Okay, we're in. I accidentally clicked the big dog, which would have been $500 out of my account.
Nice. You would have been.
It went. You have insufficient funds. I was like, what's going on?
You
Well,
would have
okay.
been.
So before this fills up, what do you think the odds are that we draft next to each other in this next draft?
Well,
We've
technically,
already done 2 drafts today where it happened.
no. I can tell you exactly what the odds are because we went 1 in 6 times 1 in 6, so 1 in 36. So now times 6, it would be 1 in 216. So the odds that we draft next to each other are like roughly the odds of a hyper rare from a pack of cards.
Wrong. The odds we draft next to each other in this next draft are 1 in 6.
No, but see, so that's what I don't. I've got to have that debate, dude. There was like a mathematician in my philosophy of science class that I did not accept that reasoning from him because that's not the fuck. It's so frustrating, dude. I don't know. I'm clearly not understanding a core concept of that because the odds of going 1 in 6 times 3 is 1 in 216. So when you ask me what are the odds we draft next to each other 3 times in a 1 in 6, my answer would be you hit a 1 out of 216 event. But see, I get that's
No,
not
I
right.
asked
See,
you what
yeah,
I asked you
yeah.
what the odds are we draft next to each other in this next draft,
Fuck,
and
it's
it
so.
is the classic
I
question.
know. I
If
know.
I flipped a coin 49 times, and I had 49 heads in a row, what are the odds the next coin I flip is tails?
Kills me,
Right?
dude.
And while you may say that regression is due,
Yeah.
the probability remains the same. That it is a 50-50 proposition.
It's so crushing when you realize you're just a mediocre intellect. Like you're not remarkable in any way, and I realize that all the time now, dude. Just like, just not someone who's worthwhile. And I really like sit there and think about that like, oh man, they don't even write, like they write songs about people that are really bad or really good and you're just a middle roader. Yeah. It happens. All right, let's see where we're drafting, man. See where we're gambling.
Dude, I'm glad I didn't have a bunch of money in my account and accidentally hop into a big dog. That
I
would
mean,
have sucked.
I think you could just leave, dude. I think you could just leave. I don't know. Again, so the way that works, from what I can tell, because I've been really studying like the high stakes best ball community as I've tried to get more serious about best ball, there's like a group of animals that like circle those things like sharks and they put in their money and then you wait and whenever they fill, you stop what you're doing and you get into it. It's just a totally
Dude, what
different
happens
ball
if it
game,
fills
dude.
at like 4 in the morning and you sleep
I
through it?
thought I thought
I
about
don't
that.
understand.
I thought about that. I don't know. I have no idea because like yeah, I don't know how it works, dude. I
That's
would
why Chess Liam wakes up at like 4 in the
yeah
morning with bedhead, and he's like,
yeah.
"Early bird gets the best ball worm."
Oh, dude, I will like if I'm up early or whatever. I think he's on the East Coast. I will just sit there and watch that dude rip best ball. Very interesting person. I really hope this isn't like a slow
He,
puppy or something. Why is it taking so long to draft?
why? What did we both click the slow
There's
puppy? I
no
don't
way.
think
Yeah, there's
so.
no way. It's just taking a minute. Okay.
People are just like doing things like fun things on their Saturday nights, and we are in here. Oh, 1-1!
God.
Yes!
Oh.
It's
Okay.
about time.
Good.
I didn't have enough Gibbs in the portfolio. We have to. I only have 20% Gibbs now. We got to get those numbers up.
This will probably be an Amon Ra or a JSN for me this time.
1-6. I feel like that's the earliest you can justify clicking James Cook.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's 3 wide receiver best ball, right? So I'll mix it up. In redraft, I think I'm gonna pull. I'm waiting for this Ty Johnson news, dude. If Ty Johnson is really down, I will in my rankings, I will move James Cook over to up to 3 overall if they don't bring in anyone else. I think if he goes down, they're gonna bring in someone else. It's just a matter of who. But Ty Johnson, in terms of yards per route run and targets per route run, was an elite target earner as a running back because they would put him in on third down and scheme plays for him. James Cook was a fantastic receiving back in college. If he gets that work, dude, the sky is the limit for what James Cook could be this year. That is one to watch carefully. I'm worried that like with James Conner and Trey Benson, right? They seem like they're floating or up for grabs. Braylon Allen, but he's not a receiving back, right? Like I would imagine they need a receiving back. So I'm trying to think of like who I maybe Woody Marks. Like maybe they like Jawar Jordan. And yeah, so I'm gonna do something crazy because I don't draft Christian McCaffrey this year. I'm taking Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I was thinking about it. I might be more in on Christian McCaffrey,
Yeah. Well,
not over James Cook. And Christian McCaffrey seems to be one of. Oh, look at that guy. He went James Cook 1-7. Shout out. But yeah, I'm not drafting him over James Cook, but with the Niners dropping like flies here, would you agree that the only path to the Niners having a successful season is another standout year by Christian McCaffrey?
yes, but I don't think
Like
they're
if
gonna.
Christian goes down, it's over, right?
Yes, but I don't think they're gonna have a successful season. I think this is the year where the entire bill comes due. The whole thing. Paying old veterans a ton of money, putting in crazy high mileage on your stars because no one's there, relying on a 38-year-old with a mediocre O line around him, throwing Brock Purdy out there to get hit play after play after play. I think it all comes home this year. I think the biggest of bills comes due for the 49ers. But yes, I agree with you. They're not going to have a successful season without Christian. That is true.
I don't know why people think that Niners fans are annoying because we are like the most critical fan base about the team. Like there is doomers in the 49ers fan base, like unlike any other fan base. By the way, this guy at the end goes CeeDee Lamb into George Pickens.
Love
I
it.
think it would be hilarious to snipe Dak Prescott from him.
What pick am I? I'm pick 78. I will take Dak Prescott at pick 78 uncorrelated. Just so he can't have it. Just because he's fantasizing about it right now as we speak. All right.
I bet you he pulls him up to 59.
So Chase Brown would be the absolute dreamer. I am becoming totally hooked on Chase Brown. We just took Derrick Henry over Devon Achane last time, so maybe we do Devon Achane over. No, man, it's the Ravens offense versus the Miami. I can't do it. Cannot do it. There might be a difference in touchdowns between those two teams of like what 35 touchdowns this year. Okay, so Ted from
Dude, this
the
guy starts
one.
Chase HN. That should not be possible.
Yeah, because that guy went Brown, I went Henry. Well, no, it's because of Pickens. Pickens pulled up an extra pick. That's what happened. You almost never get that. He has an incredibly unique build.
Yeah, that's very exciting for that guy.
Yep. I'm not out on HN by any means, but in half PPR where we're playing for upside, like I think you're playing for the touchdowns with Henry there instead.
All right, this is pretty easy for me. We go Collins, we go Rice.
Yep, that would likely be my picks there too. I don't know if I'm comfortable taking Neighbors above either of those guys yet. I have Neighbors higher in my rankings because I think like the news is going to keep getting better. But Rice, I'm kind of waiting on them to say like Rice is 100% clear and good to go. Then I will feel a lot better about him. I'm just a little nervous right now because the news hasn't necessarily been positive. I wouldn't say.
Well, I moved Neighbors up to exactly behind Rice and Collins. So like
Neighbors
if
up
he
to
had
exact.
taken
So okay, Rice. Okay, so he's like your.
yeah, so it's like
he's your 13.
I mean, I don't know, I didn't count them. All I know is that like there's that tier of like AJ Brown, Drake London, Nico Collins, then for me it's Rashee Rice, then Pickens, then Neighbors.
Yeah, so that's the Collins is wide receiver 9. So you have yeah. So yeah, but that's that whole jumble there. That's what I'm talking about. Is just can you get him into the wide receiver 1 range? And I don't know. It's a little hard for me to get there. Just a little bit. Not totally hard. I get get the vision. I see what we're doing here. Just a little hard.
Well, it's a tough one because like coming into the off season, they were saying that like Neighbors might not be ready for week 1, right? We get some good 10-second clips of him looking nice running routes against the air, and all of a sudden his ADP has gone up like 2 rounds, right? The
Yep.
fact of the matter is he is still coming off the knee injury.
Yep.
He did still look horrible for way longer than
Yep.
he probably should have in terms of his mobility. So I wonder if he is as much of a smash as the community is kind of making it out to be. Now, it's the other side of how I don't take the 10-second clips from camp as seriously when you're not reacting is seriously to those things, kind of like I do, then like for good news, you're also not reacting as seriously.
I just
Cam's got to be up to the 4-2. That guy's not worried about that.
I mean, again, right? The same thing with like Christian McCaffrey. It's really just is he healthy or not? If he's healthy, you're getting a great value, and you should take him every single draft. But I'm really concerned about the health prospects there. I really am.
I don't know. Even if he is healthy, I also wonder if it's just him as a bell cow, or if they will also spell in Tracy. It's not. I'm not saying it's likely that Tracy just has a role anyways, and Cam Scatterboo
Oh, I
won't
think he
be a
does.
bell
I
cow,
think
but I think it's possible.
no, I think Tracy has some sort of a role. Okay, so this is wild because I want to take Lamar Jackson to stack this up. Josh Allen, all the way back there at 43. I have Zay Flowers and Derrick Henry. I took them with the thought that Lamar Jackson was going to be my guy. I very rarely make this pick, but we're going to go ETN because I like the receivers coming later and I don't like the running backs coming later because if I take Lamar Jackson, I'm boxed out of that range. I'm not a big ETN guy, but I don't take him a lot. I think he's fine. I think he's going to be a volume based RB2, but I generally don't like to take volume based RB2s in this range.
That guy with Chase and Achan got Allen too. Like that is an incredibly unique build,
That's not
and
just
it's pretty savage too.
that's not just incredibly unique. That's like because I had to make a weird decision there. That's the latest I've ever seen Allen. That's crazy. We probably just fucked over people in this tournament, like the field, the wide field. Um, don't know what to say about that.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
that's crazy.
So
I'm worried that I contributed to that. I feel like I contributed to that by not taking Allen there, but I built this to take Lamar, Flowers and Henry.
we're gonna get Mike Evans in here as our wide receiver 3. Oh man,
That's a very clear pick for me there.
I'm gonna go Monty.
Yeah, that would have been my pick. I don't think Monty's that dead zone-ish this year. I see people saying he's the classic dead zone back. I don't agree. I'm going to leave this up just to see what this dude does. At this point, it is that guy's draft. Joe Bradish, HIV. Okay. Joe Bradishiv. All right. Russian
Yeah,
gentleman.
man, we might be looking at the puppy winner right here.
Yeah, actually. I've never seen. Let's see what he follows it up with.
Lamar Jackson.
Oh, no. No. Okay, Quinshawn, good.
The big Q.
He did biff it. Okay, so we get what we were aiming for, but at what cost, boys? At what cost? I don't build these a whole lot, so I like to do it when I get a chance. I took Zay Flowers. I think Zay Flowers is going to be a wide receiver 1 this year, or at least a fringe wide receiver 1. We get a big old Baltimore stack: Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, backed up with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Travis Etienne. Will absolutely love this build if I can follow it up with a Jared Goff, who I think throws for 4,000 yards this year. I'm very
And we
bullish
got a
on
5'7"
Jared Goff.
Parker Washington.
Yeah,
5 second. It's always the bronze badge guys.
yeah, man. I
What
think
does that say about bronze badge guys?
that they're
I think they live and breathe fantasy football.
that they're
I think that they got the content on at all times.
yeah. Time will tell, my friend.
Listen, I don't think you. How many drafts? I'm gonna Google this. How many drafts does it take to get a bronze badge in Underdog?
I don't know what the badge means because if I'm approaching 160 drafts or something, I have not gotten one. I don't know what that means.
Okay, once you have drafted 2,000 teams or more, you earn a bronze
Oh,
badge,
wait, look up the red
and then
one.
you earn a silver badge at 5,000. You earn
For a year?
red
Or-
is
There's no way that's for a year.
no,
That's
no,
for
just
lifetime.
like
Okay.
overall
Okay.
because it's tied to your account. But yeah, there is no way you draft 2,000 different best ball teams and you are not mainlining content.
Oh, not just man, dude. I can't even imagine what your day to day because like 2,000 drafts. I mean, I guess you're doing them slow or whatever. But if you're doing those fast, that's like a half an hour per draft. You've drafted 1,000 hours the last few years. Good lord. I would love to get there. I would love to get my life to the point where I can like afford to do that with my time. Okay.
if you're
So
not getting paid or sponsored to do that many drafts, I don't know what you're doing.
no.
Like, I guess it's you either have to be getting paid to do it, you have to be sponsored to do it, or you need to have won a contest. Like, if you win the puppy, I fully endorse you doing 1,000 drafts next year,
Thought we were
maxing out every entry.
thought we were gonna get Christian Watson super late there, but he auto drafts. That's a shame. Get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Dude,
by the
what
way.
is going on with this room?
It's a very weird. I've not seen some of these ADPs we are seeing. Makai Lemon cannot get healthy from his hamstring. Do not draft Makai Lemon under any circumstances for redraft this year. He should be off your board entirely. He is off mine. He has had a recurrent hamstring for like months now. Not doing that. Oh,
That's
so
crazy
close.
because you were glazing Makai Lemon coming out of college, saying
As a,
that he was the next coming of Christ.
as a prospect, not as a fantasy asset. I was not into him as a fantasy asset. I wanted him on the Niners though badly, but he's had a hamstring that he can't bounce back from.
So I'm taking Joe Burrow there. And then hmm, I'm going to pull up Tucker Craft. I don't care. I
Un-
like the start.
Uncorrelated Joe Burrow.
It was
Wait,
so Joe Bradishian couldn't get him. I
wait.
wanted to block him from winning.
Yep. Thank you for your service. Although he went Jaden Daniels. That's kind of a weird. I don't like his last two picks, but that's still pretty wild. He must have just felt like he had such a crazy base to his team. He doesn't care. I would have been really thrilled to get Christian Watson back here. Good lord, this guy has a fantastic start in my book, subjectively. Let's see what he does. Quentin Johnston. Okay, that's acceptable. Okay, so want a receiver. I've been taking a ton of Chris Godwin here. I mean, I think this is an Alec. You know what? I don't take a lot of Jaden Reed at all. It's not my kind of guy, but let's mix it up a little bit. Let's take a Jaden Reed. I have not ever
Hey, I feel like Jaden Reed's a very good player. It's just he's not on the field
health.
as much as you would like.
Yeah, I have not ever. It's one of those weird guys where the community loves him and he does interesting stuff every year and all that. But I have never drafted Jaden Reed and redraft in my life before. Just never once been a thing that I do. I don't know. I don't like those boom bust guys that you can't know when to start. That stresses me out for fantasy.
So content guy went Emeka Egbuka, Parker Washington, Christian Watson, and Josh Downs is his wide receiver room. It's the most content coded start I've ever. And Colston Loveland.
Oh
That
god.
is the most like content guy coded like pass catcher room I've ever seen. And then James Cook at the 1-7. So I like to think we're
Yeah.
leading the charge
Here,
there in
here's
terms
the
of content guys.
here's the worst thing, dude. To me, like besides Downs, I'm not a Downs guy. That six. If I left a draft with that six coming into the seventh round, oh, that would be fucking took my Brooks. Now that's good, by the way. Don't pick a lane there, dude. Don't pick a lane there between Chuba Hubbard and Brooks. So if one of them hits, you win big. Make sure that you have. Now, if one of them doesn't hit, you wasted a pick. If they both don't hit, right? If they split time, you get nothing there. That is the worst thing you could do. You pick a lane and you stick to it, dude. That is a terrible decision. Oh, look at that start, though. Again, not Downs. I'm not a Downs guy.
That's interesting coming from the guy who during redraft season says, I will not draft Christian McCaffrey without Jordan Mason. Which, by the way, that was a fire analysis. That year you did that, where you had Christian McCaffrey and you drafted all the Jordan Mason around ahead of ADP. That was sick.
Yeah, that was actually. I did that in. Okay, so I alternate between these guys with Cortland Sutton and Godwin. I have Godwin higher in my rankings. Um, I've taken him so much in these streams, but I think Godwin. Oh, it's not your turn to pick. Okay, I think Godwin's like a tremendous asset where he's currently going. You know what though? I just screwed it up. Okay, good. Laporta wasn't there because I am going to try to come around and get Jared Goff here to stack with Amon Ra. I was hoping I didn't miss Laporta. No, so that's actually going to go in my draft guide for that's coming out on Saturday. I don't think there's anything wrong with handcuffing in redraft. I don't know why well, I do know why every fantasy analyst says you never handcuff. I don't agree with that at all. I think you should totally handcuff in redraft if it's like a traditional handcuff. Like if you take Saquon,
Well, their analysis would be exactly what you said,
yeah,
right? Like, well, you're betting on,
yeah,
you're like hedging your bets.
yeah. In best ball, I think that's stupid, but like in redraft, dude, I've actually had my ass saved like multiple times by having a handcuff on my roster for my guys. I don't know. I don't really have any problem with it in redraft. I would not do it in best ball.
Get some more Patrick Mahomes in the boat. I got
Yeah.
a Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes quarterback room. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, so a lot of guys like to go hero with Gibbs, right? Because he has so much upside. Ted does a modified double hero like that. I like Monty. I do not think Monty's just a boring volume this year. I think Monty has real upside. And then these are the kind of picks I love when you pick Gibbs. Guys where if they hit, your roster goes to the moon, like a Manungai when DeAndre Swift has had like 6 groin injuries to the same groin over the last 2 years. Very good running back room construction. Again, I see people saying you have to avoid the dead zone. I understand the sentiment. But like if that's your 5 coming out, and again, for me personally, like I would have taken Hurts or Williams over Burrow, but like apparently, as I learned today, Burrow is a beloved fantasy figure. Okay, so we are going to. There's some really good options on the board, so this hurts a little bit, but we are going to take Jared Goff with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Complete our.
I like it, man.
There. Yeah, get a nice high floor quarterback room.
Travis Etienne is like the chewed up gum that's holding that thing together right now. But I'm starting to be more and more Etienne curious as the offseason goes on.
Yeah.
I think that the news about Alvin Kamara, like a lot of people. So earlier in the offseason, Travis Etienne was like a mid third round pick, and I said literally word for word on the show, I'm not clicking that ever, right? But we got the news that Kamara would be there, which I kind of already assumed, which is why I did not like the ETN click. Then the market adjusts, they bump him down around. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, well, Kamara was just bad last year, and I don't think he's going to be very good this year. And they brought in Travis Etienne, so I think he's going to get some work. And he was, for the most part, been a very solid fantasy player, right? Like, all of a sudden, you can get him in the mid 4th round, like before. He's kind of like the beginning of the running back dead zone, but I'm much more interested in ETN than, say, a Cameron Scatterbo, for example, in redraft. Like, I would be much happier with that pick.
So that's one that I'm really deciding right because I am starting to fade on Scatterbo with the news. I'm just so freaked out by the direction of the Scatterbo news, right? As we went over. My problem with ETN is I am concerned there's a world where you are taking a 2-down running back on a pass first team. Now that comes down to what you said, which is that you did not think much of. Oh God. Oh, there's such good options here. But I really like the Andrews stack with Lamar.
By the way, to circle back to one of the things that you were saying with the bronze badge guy, the content guy,
Uh-huh.
and you were like, if I went into my starting into redraft with these 6, I'd be so excited. Dude, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, how confident would I be in a roster of Colston Loveland and Parker Washington? Like, is a roster that's sporting Colston Loveland and Parker Washington in it going to be this like juggernaut? Are we going to look back at the end of the season and be like, yep, I won because I drafted Colston Loveland and Parker Washington? Like 2 guys that for the majority of last year were unstartable or on waivers. It was like, I don't know.
Yes, in my opinion. Like, dude, I'm telling you right now, like, I would literally. It just depends on what what dropped where here. That's still a little. I think that's where Parker's ADP is going to end up settling, right? But those 5 guys, 6 guys are. I'm so incredibly high on that 6 right there. Now Loveland, I'm just a little different in that like I'm comfortable going 0 tight end. I think a lot of drafters just simply aren't. So like because I'm comfortable going 0 tight end, I'm not jamming Loveland the way everyone is. But if I get the right shot at the right price, I'm gonna let it rip on Loveland. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I'm
How many games if this was a roster from last year,
mm-hmm,
right? Because there's not a single rookie on it.
mm-hmm.
Like, what do you think this roster's record would be?
The one that I said I like.
Yeah, from last year. Like to me, all of these guys like were kind of bad at cost, except for Christian Watson, who was like a waiver wire pickup, right? Like, I feel like that's like you drafted Blake Corum who was kind of shitty last year.
Hmm.
Chase Brown was bad for the first 10 weeks. I feel like it's a 4-win, 5-win team. It's just crazy how much things change in one off season, right?
Yeah, but they do change, you know? It's like, I don't
Yeah,
see,
I'm not
yeah.
saying they don't change. It's just like incredible to see that now, like, we're so confident. And when I say we, I don't mean me. I mean the fantasy community, like the
Yeah.
sentiment that gets driven by people.
Yeah. I mean, the, I agree. I totally agree, right? It is weird. But to me, I think it's one of those weird things where I know it doesn't feel good to do. I just think you have to go into what I'm banking on when I'm banking on specifically those two bets, three bets, Egbuka, Washington, Watson, right? There is no algorithm, there's no content creator, there's no equation, there is no possible way to tell you who is the right call between Parker Washington and Brian Thomas Jr. You have to make a call there, right? And there's no way that you can know, is Igbuka the guy who started the season or is he the guy who ended it? Is Christian Watson the guy who was one of the best wide receivers on a per route basis to end last year, or is he just going to get hurt again? There's so much uncertainty that I think is creating prices on these guys that are, for what they could be, incredible. And to me, it's just like that. That's just what winning fantasy football leagues is, dude. Is you go in and you pick your shots, and you're going to be wrong about a bunch of them. But like, just like I was telling people to take Pickens all the time in the fifth round last year, like or like Rushy Rice in the seventh off his suspension, and then he comes back and he's putting up like 18 half PPR points per game. You know, not that much. He wasn't up that high, but he was like killing it. I think discounts from uncertainty are the last great edge left in fantasy football. And I think it is the right call to chase those things, dude. As stomach turning as it is, it never feels good when you're doing that. I think it's the right call. So,
Well, this
yeah.
guy's on the clock right now. Let's see which content darling he picks next.
If he's
My
got
money is on
Dallas Goddard, if he's a content guy, he's going Dallas Goddard. No.
Denzel Boston. Very
Um,
content coded.
okay, so I have a tough call here. What are my tight end stacks late? Okay, we're going to keep taking him because I'm getting nervous about Cam. So we're going to take a Tyron Tracy again. So we back up our room of Derrick Henry and Travis Etienne with Jordan Mason and Tyron Tracy. I love that. I'm really high on Goddard too. Kills me to leave Goddard on the board. Maybe there's some chance he comes back around to us. Um, I don't know how valid this is or is not, but there are some high stakes guys that are claiming they have inside information that they are planning to bell cow Jordan Mason this year, and they didn't want Aaron Jones back on the Vikings. That they were hoping he would retire or leave, and when he actually took the pay cut they put on the table, they were surprised. So that is the rumor that is going around the $500 buy-in redraft leagues, the $2,000 buy-in redraft leagues that I've been watching on stream. I don't know how much of a secret or a rumor it is when they're saying it on stream to 500 people, but I buy into it. I'm treating Jordan Mason like he's going to get 15 to 20 touches a game for the Vikings this year.
There is 0% chance they have any insider information. I bet they're just bullshitting.
I don't know. It's those
I
guys.
don't believe them.
It's the guys that have the NFL front office dudes on their podcast. They had the whole analytics department that won the Eagles Super Bowl. Those guys rotate through and talk to them. It's kind of interesting, dude. I don't know. It's like
What are you thinking about Chigga over Jawan Johnson and Brenton Strange? Did I
no.
int there?
I didn't see that. I would have said something about that. Juwan Johnson.
I did do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that personally, but I still think Chig catches 50 balls this year. To me, though, that's like a thing where you stack him with Jaden Daniels. Okay, on the clock, all my guys got ran through. Want a wide receiver. May go Jalen McMillan just for some spike weeks there. Probably should have checked my stacks before I got back here. That's okay, though. We will take Jalen McMillan. They said that he should be fine, so I'm going to assume that he's actually going to be fine. I think he has some weeks this year where he like
Very
spikes
Ted-coded
up.
pick there. I love it.
There you go. I think he has some weeks this year where he spikes up. I would have taken Strange or Juwan Johnson, but they got ran through, dude. Fun
Oh,
fact.
that's who I. Okay.
Do you know what the greatest season in the history of Texans tight ends is?
Oh, Texans tight ends.
Do you know who had the greatest
Ugh.
season in Texans tight end history?
No, wait, no. Let me try and figure this out.
It's not as hard as you're making it.
Dalton Schultz, I guess.
Dalton Schultz when?
I don't know. CJ's rookie year.
Last year. Dalton Schultz season last season was the greatest tight end season in the history of the Texans organization. You absolute bums. Absolute poverty franchise, dude. Yeah,
I forgot how snake bitten that franchise was.
that is a
Dude,
true statement, dude.
dude, the first like 5 years of the Texans franchise, they were just such incredible punching bags
Yeah.
with David Carr there.
Yeah, it's absolutely hilarious. That rookie they got, that run stopping D tackle dude, like some guys thought that guy was like a fridge that would plug up run lanes. I don't I that team might be really good. I think it's going to be the best defense we've seen in 20 years in the NFL take the field. I think they are going to put the fear of God in professional athletes. Like I think you're going to see dudes who are like not stoked to get on the field with them.
Charbonnet goes at the 14.5. I think one of my first drafts for this offseason that I put in the Discord, because we have a channel in the Discord where we put our best ball drafts in. I think I got Charbonnet at like the 15-1 or the 14-12. And one of the guys goes, well, I think if you like Charbonnet, the price is going to get cheaper. It did not. He is mid 14th round.
Yeah, the news is pretty good on him. The news is pretty good on him, only moving in one direction. Seems like it's just slowly getting more bullish. So you think Kamara's a zero this year? Or you think it just doesn't matter?
I'm not. I just think the ETN at this point in his career is so much better than Alvin Kamara. Like, I'm taking a running back here, and it's not Alvin Kamara.
But, like, do you think...
And it's not Tajay Spears, and it's not Tank Bigsby. There you go. Going all the way down for some Marshawn Lloyd.
Nice.
That is a bet I'm going to continue to make, and we're pretty ahead everywhere here. I'm going to take another running back, Tank Bigsby.
I love Tank, dude, especially for best ball. Talk about a league winner.
I could have ferged out there, but I felt like it's too early to ferg out. Could have taken Barner, but I already have Chig and Kraft. Do they have the same bye week? 7-11. No, they don't. Okay.
Obviously,
we're good.
You know how I draft back here. I'm hoping badly for my boy AJ Barner to come down. Again, dude, I kind of like that the best ball community forgot about this, apparently. AJ Barner had real spike weeks last year where he was, like, obliterating the board for 18 to 21 points as a tight end. And in best ball, when I don't have to, like, know when to start him, I just throw him in there. And it's a very easy pick for me.
No, I mean, I put him on the waiver wire show last year, and I think one of the things he said is, well, every Seahawks tight end is just kind of randomly due for a spike week every once in a while.
Yeah, that's... Well.
That kind of is how the history of that position has gone for them, though.
Yeah. Well, I thought that one kid was going to be good. The super athletic kid that we all got excited. Not we. You don't get excited about any rookies. The guy that the community got very excited about for a little bit. He's still there. The super athletic. He's the hybrid wide receiver.
Elijah Arroyo.
There was some talk like, does he get the job? But then Barner really looked solid and seemed to have pretty good chemistry with Darnold. Okay, so there goes all the tight ends that we were excited about this late. Probably just let it go, see if we can get a third one. If not, we'll live. I'm not a Gunnar Helm drafter. I know that the underdog, or formerly underdog, the Yahoo boys, Josh and Hayden, are very big on Gunnar Helm. It's not a me guy, personally. It doesn't look like a great player to me. I'm not going to take him here, but at some point I am going to start aggressively going in on Ray Davis, depending on what happens with that running back room here. Moving forward.
I do like the Ray Davis click a lot more if Ty Johnson is not involved, because then he just becomes a very clear handcuff.
Yep. I think Ray Davis is pretty good. I was seeing people saying, like, no, he's not a handcuff. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yanni, if you could just stop clicking Tank Dell so I can get more of him, I'd really appreciate it.
Dude, that's a great price on Tank Dell,
It is. Well, he's crept up drafts. I used to be able to get him in the 18th round. Now he's 16th round. Ah, some scumbag took Kate Otten, so I was gonna click.
man. Cade.
All right, so I think we're done at the running back position.
Let's
I'm gonna
see.
be a hype beast and pull up some Pat Bryant here.
Love it.
Then I think we're kind of at the end of a tier here for the quarterbacks now that Mendoza's gone. So I'll just throw an uncorrelated Brissett on with my uncorrelated Mahomes. Or no, sorry, Burrow is uncorrelated. So my only correlation is just Mahomes Rice.
Yeah, this sucks for me because there are two running backs who I'm very interested in on the board. But there is a newly hyped up rookie that I want to make sure I get with Lamar, just in case. Yeah. So we will go Jacoby Lane here. I don't like the six running back builds. Apparently, you're supposed to be building a six running back build. This is probably a little unbalanced because I'm going to go 2-5-9-2. I would have rathered another tight end, but they ran through tight end so badly. You're just going to have to hope that Mark Andrews is what I think he is and Barner holds up. The thing with tight end is it's so easy to get a top 10 week that they're my favorite ones to throw in there in the backs of drafts, and no, I don't get it.
Well, your draft, Travis Etienne is by far the most important player on that team.
Oh, I like Mason and Tracy. How dare you? How dare you?
I think that counting at the start of the season, I don't think you can count on startable points from Tyrone Tracy. I think something has to happen first, and Jordan Mason maybe. But like to me, like your team, I think it's really good, but it does need Travis Etienne to be like solid, which I think it's a good bet, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, I mean, this is also a lot of receivers. I maybe didn't need to go that hard at receiver. I probably should have cut one of these guys for a running back in here, but whatever. Yeah, what's Ted cooking over there? Very good, very good, very good. Not a Jacoby Myers fan or a Higgins fan personally, but I see the vision. That's just a good slide on Myers too. It's later than Myers usually goes. I still think. Oh, and Omar Cooper Jr. Oh man, I love Omar Cooper Jr. I still think Chig catches 50 balls, dude. The community is getting too weird about that. I understand that Diggs matters, but he caught 50 balls a year for 3 years straight, getting the ball thrown to him from. I don't even know who have some of his quarterbacks been over the last 3 years in Tennessee. Just absolute bedlam, absolute mayhem in there. I mean, actually, he probably had Malik Willis at a point, right? Yeah, because he got drafted to Tennessee.
Oh man, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But Chig has caught 50 balls a year, dude. That's it's a good target earning tight end. I'm not really that freaked out by him.
He just hasn't been effective at all with those
Well, yeah, it's Tennessee.
those 50 balls. They've been yeah, that is the thing too. That's like part of the reason I'm so out on the Carnell Tate proposition this year. I think that in that blob of like round 6 wide receivers, he should be last in that blob. I even prefer Parker Washington to him.
Okay, first of all, how dare you say I even prefer? That's a gross thing. Parker Washington's the man. Okay, so
I say that in terms of being talking so much shit on that player.
okay, so here's how my draft went. A little bit unbalanced. Would have liked to get another tight end, but things got out of hand pretty quickly. I only build these 2 quarterback rooms for the most part. I do not like the third quarterback build. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, ETN, Lamar Jackson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jaden Reed, Chris Godwin, Jared Goff, Mason, Andrews, Tracy, McMillan, Tesla, Barner, Dell, Lane. Hopefully Lane becomes something. And then Ted goes Gibbs, Collins, Rice, Evans, Montgomery, Burrow, Kraft, Monungai, Patrick Mahomes, Jacoby Myers, Higgins, Okonkwo, Cooper, Lloyd, Bigsby, Bryant, Brissett, and Ingram to wrap things out. It's good that Ted did not try to stack. God forbid you get your spike weeks together. But the nice 3-5-7-3. What were you
I
gonna
have
say?
Mahomes and Rice, dude.
Oh yeah, you do. You do
Mahomes
actually.
and
Yeah,
Rice.
yeah, yeah. You
Shut
do.
up.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. You know what? For the second time today, I retract my statement and I'll take my L. One last check on what the beating I am taking on Reddit downvotes for that is. Good God, sir. 14 to -12, 26-point lead this gentleman opened up on me. Let's see. I don't want to go to my profile. I just want to see the beating. Oh, God. 6, yeah, 17. Just a bloodbath. 9. Still beating my ass. Where did he go? Yep, -1. Oh, I even got -1 on the last one. There you go. And I downvoted myself on all these because I'll take my L like a man. You know what we'll even do? We'll upvote him. All right. All right, Ted. I'm glad we did that. I'm glad the chicken coops went well, sir. Thank you guys for stopping by. Those of you that popped in, we're going to keep these going every night of the redraft season throughout the redraft season until we draft our free Tendies fantasy leagues. Ted will join me for some. Maybe he'll be here, maybe he won't. But the last 2 weekends of the season before redraft kicks off, because I realized I scheduled all 16 free Tendies leagues drafts on those days. So I'm going to basically be sitting here streaming drafts for like 8 to 10 hours those 2 days. Probably lose my voice, probably run out of stuff to say, but it should be kind of fun. We'll have a video of everything that goes on in the leagues. I'll track them once a week. You get to see, how much of my $1,500 do I lose? Do I win the whole $18,000 from the league? Ted is going to be competing with me in at least 3 of those. I try to get him to do more, but he has other leagues. He sees other fellas. Ted, excellent work today, dude. I think I got you in this one. I think you got me in the first one, but and I don't remember the very first one. I think you got me in the last one, but I think we both killed it today. I'm really, really happy with the work we put in. Anything to wrap things up, anything to leave the world with on a fine Saturday night where we donated money to this dude at 4. Real quick, let's see how this guy finished it up. Chase, A-Chain, Smith, Allen, Judkins, Daniels, Johnston, Dobbins, Fannin, Dobbs, Rodriguez, Ferguson, Darnold, Mitchell, Branch, Robinson, Singleton, Mooney. Excellent work, sir. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I think I smoked you in that last draft.
Okay.
But if you like the stream, please like and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. If you are subscribed to the channel, there is a little bell next to the subscribe button. If you click that bell, anytime we go live, your phone should tell you. So you can pop in the stream, whatever, if you're feeling like it, and say what's up. Yeah, we'll be here pretty much the next month straight at least, and we got a lot of content coming for you guys. So thank you for stopping by.
I'd love to grade mocks and drafts. Stop in the Discord and drop a mock or draft. I'd love to see what